check it in real quick, and I do mean real quick. It is time for Let's Talk Tuesday. I want to say welcome, good evening. Thank you for joining me. If you see the live button at the top, that means you're with me live. But I would love for you to share a hello or hearts or something in the comments or emoji. Let me know how you're feeling, how you're doing on this day 2, week 4 of the quarantine. Stay home, shelter in place. The whole thing that we're going through. Also, if you don't see the live button, then hashtag replay and still let me know how you doing, how you maintaining and sustaining yourself during this time with the quarantine. This is going to be really quick. I'm sitting a little awkwardly because my ankle. I was trying to be great yesterday, and I have I don't know, something not right. So I really can't stand, and I wasn't gonna go, but I was like, you know what? Just improvise, do the best you can, and just make it happen. So I decided to. I talked to my son. It's so fun, and we were going back and forth. And I said, well, I think I'll just wait till tomorrow. But I was laying there, and it's like foot all elevated, ice um packs and all that stuff. And I said, let me just jump up real quick, and get on. And I want to just talk about this is really quickly. What are you talking about? Yesterday we talked about mind over matter, and it's like, what are you thinking? And basically, it's like whatever you're thinking is about conquering fear. So the way to conquer the fear, just a little recap, is to be prayerful, to be mindful. What you're saying, what you're doing. Mind over matter. Not that you're ignoring what's happening, not that you are eluding or getting away from what's going on around you, but you're not letting it consume you. You're not letting it make you anxious or panicky. You're not allowing it to influx you or overtake you. So today I just want to talk about what are you talking about. So if we talk about mind over matter, if we're talking about mind over matter, if we're talking about how do we conquer fear every day? Not the fear of flying, the fear of, those fears, those common fears, but the fear of what's going to happen to me, what's going to overtake me, what's going to come of this situation with the coronavirus, what's going to happen. So you have to conquer that fear of, what you're thinking. You got to conquer that fear of whatever you are feeling. Feelings aren't always real. Our feelings are kind of like, in, kind of out. We get in our feelings, we get out our feelings. Feelings aren't always real because they're not always based on the facts. It's based on how it's based on a reaction or response to whatever situation may be. So yesterday was more about your mindset, mind over matter. If you haven't watched it, go back and catch it. And then hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you feel inspired by it, of course, always, am greatly appreciated if you share the love. That means just, because you're connected to people that I'm not. So on your timeline are people that I may not be familiar with, but they may need this encouragement. They may need it uplifting. They may need to, another outlet. Because the thing about it right now, we have to be creative in what we're doing. We have to be creative with what we're doing with our time, with our mind, what we're watching, what we're thinking, what we're speaking. So I'm going to get into that topic about, mind, what are you talking about? And when I say, what are you talking about? You can be in an argument with somebody and they're like, what are you talking about? I didn't even say it like that. And, but in this time and moment that we're living in right now, what you're talking about has a whole different meaning, a whole different perspective, especially to me. So basically, let me turn my, hold on. Sorry, I had to turn the volume off. The sound off because you can hear everything. But what are you talking about? Yes, again, be concerned but not consumed. Be informed, not in flux. Be aware but not be anxious. But what are you talking about? And I know we all make jokes and we laugh about how much we're cooking because we have all taken on every role, right? We homeschooling. I'm still working from home. You may be working from home. You're taking care of your kids. Even though my son is in college, I'm still checking over his work, making sure he's checking in for class. We cooking all day long, all night long. So, it's a lot. All making a lot of adjustments. So we make jokes about it. But and more importantly, we're grateful, we're thankful. You have to find relief. I talked about watching things that are funny and, bring humor and make you, that lifts your mood. Anytime you can watch things that make you laugh, even if coronavirus wasn't an issue right now. I know when I was realizing that my marriage was over, it was like not going to work out. And just going through the things we were going through with that. It was one of the eras when Tyler Perry was like really starting to pop off. But I watched those plays before they even became movies, and just I would watch George Lopez, Nick at Night. You know, just things that keep your mood elevated. And I'm telling you, if you, however you end your night, but whatever you watching or talk about is going to dictate how you sleep at night, how you rest at night, how you wake up the next morning. So what are you talking about? Are you talking about things that keep you lifted? I'm not saying don't check in on your family, your friends, your loved ones. You know, we probably more connected now than we've ever been, because we'll text, hey, how you doing, what you doing, and we keep moving. But now it's, you know, a moment where you are checking and you are actually calling, you are actually texting, we are video chatting, we are connecting and reconnecting in ways that we haven't before. But what are you talking about? Like, are you talking about, oh, what are we going to do? Oh, this doom and gloom. Oh, are we going to die? Oh, the world coming to an end. Oh, did you see the death rate climb 300 more deaths since yesterday? Oh, you know, I don't know if we're going to make it. You know, you can send yourself into sickness, disease, which is what disease really is. You can send yourself into a space and a place where you spiral out of control, even based on what you're speaking. You know, they say that whatever you sow a man thinketh, so he, but whatever you know, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. So if you are choosing to speak things as they're happening and not as they are going to be, then you're going to keep seeing those things, you know, doom and gloom, weary and dreary. Oh, I'm not going to make it. I'm not saying that the stuff isn't real. Nobody's saying that the different changes and shifts in, you know, with the economy, with our jobs, with, you know, going to the store. You try not to go to the store, but you can't, you it's like, they got this day, but not that you need. So you try to be mindful of all that. So I'm not saying that stuff isn't real, but what I am saying is, however, whatever you consume yourself with, mentally so, emotionally so, and even and verbally with your words, is going to dictate how you are maintaining your sense of mental stability, emotional stability, spiritual stability, and even your relationships with people who are being quarantined with you. All of that is going to be dictated based on what you're talking about, what you're watching, who you're talking to, what you allow them to pour into your spirit and talk to you about, and how much you want them to talk to you about it. And then back to what you're thinking. But I just want to say again, what are you talking about? Why are you talking about, oh, I'm not going to make it? Or are you talking about things where the Bible, like the Lord says, I'll never see the righteous forsaken or the seed begging bread. You know, and I can't wait till tomorrow to talk about Words of Wisdom Wednesday. And I'm going to talk about just how, and just in conversation, I was reflecting and I'm like, dang, a year ago this time, it was a different transition for me. And I wasn't resistant to the transition, but I'll talk about it tomorrow. But I'm just saying, God, he works. Like, he's always moving forward, but it's not until we look back that we see how he's putting the puzzle pieces together. But that's for Words of Wisdom Wednesday. But this is, what are you talking about? What Let's Talk Tuesday. So let's talk about what you're talking about. I want you to get into the mindset where you are talking about things that bring laughter. You want to be serious about whatever, but don't be so serious. Like, loosen up, because everybody's making an adjustment. I know we all make jokes about our kids being home with us all day and cooking and all that, like I just mentioned, but they probably feel the same way too. They're not used to being around us all day. No matter whether they're in college or if they're in high school, whatever, elementary, middle school, they're used to socializing. I know my son say, I feel like I'm in high school all over again. You know, here he is. They didn't finish his freshman year totally on campus, so he's back in the room doing what he do. I mean, he has classes, but yelling at the TV, me yelling at him, you know, and it's fun, but at the same time, it's a shift. So you have to be mindful that while I'm making adjustments, so is he making adjustments. And so that's if you're married, single, 1 child, 2 child, 5 children, 2 children, 5 children. I said 2 child. No matter what it may be, you need to be mindful of everybody's making an adjustment. We might always be the best company either. Just because we're the parent don't mean we make the best company. Just because you're the guardian don't mean you're the best company. So what are you talking about? What conversations are you having with them? Are you saying things around your children that are going to have them in a state of being fearful, or in a place where they know that they have faith that things are going to be better, it's going to lift up, it's going to, even though we have to go through the process, but this too shall pass? Or are you going to say this is it? Oh, we're doom and gloom, you know, it's over with, you know, we won't bounce back. Are you saying everybody's going to die? Or, are you speaking things? You have to speak life over the situation. And if you don't speak life over it, we know there's going to be calamity. We know there's going to be shifts. We know there's going to be, loss. But there's also going to be gain. There's also going to be wisdom attained. There's also going to be strength. There's also going to be, a lot of other things good that come out of it. And the thing that we're going to learn from this is that it's not going to be business as usual. So whatever worked in the past won't work in this new day. It's not going to be the same. As I mentioned last night when I talked about Mind Over Matter, like after 9/11 happened, nothing was the same. I took my son to the airport and I was like, y'all, it was a time where we didn't have to stand here and watch you go through. We could walk with you, talk with you, do whatever while you wait for your plane to come. But those days are over with. So we don't know what changes will come out of this, but when the whole world is affected, not just one part of the country, not just one segment of the world. See, we used to, in the United States, we're used to seeing things where, it's like, oh man, did you hear what happened over there in China? Oh man, you hear whatever over there in Africa? Oh man, you heard about the tsunami, this and that. But this is the whole world. So nobody's exempt from this thing. So I'm not saying God caused it, but he's allowed it, and it's for a reason. And if you don't take my time to really hone in on your relationship with him, number one, and with yourself, and reevaluate some things, and your perspective should change right now. How you view everything in your life decisions moving forward should be impacted by this. It should be changed, not just from fear of getting the virus, but just life in general. Like, can you imagine the stories we're going to tell? For me, my grandchildren or my sons will tell their children. We're like we're history in the making. We're living during the era and the time that we've read about before, not just with the pandemic, but I mean like history changing, world shattering, shaking, changing, shifting type of events. We're living through that. And if you're not speaking the right things, let alone thinking the right things, then you're not going to make it to have those conversations about how you survived and how we made it over and how we got through, because you've already defeated yourself by speaking those things that don't manifest the goodness or the great things that you want to come into your life, if that makes any sense. So I just want to drop that nugget. Like, what are you talking about? First of all, what are you thinking about? That was Mind Over Matter. How do you conquer those fears every day? And to reiterate that same thing, as I said yesterday, you have to be grounded in your faith and rooted in the word. And whatever word that is, I mean, the Bible, devotionals, tapping into people who are pouring into your spirit in the right way. And it's biblical and it's spiritual, but there's so many other nuggets that you can get from people in the world because God has created so many avenues for us to be fed, not just physically so. And I know we all struggling with that snack demon and trying to be social distance from the refrigerator and the snacks. I mean, so it's like in the idle time, you got to be creative. You got to think of things. And if you, write it out, what if you talk it out. This is the best time to tap into those creative moments. And sometimes it's just the best time to tap out from a lot of other things that's been pulling at you over and over and, draining you. And, it's just self-evaluation and reevaluation of a whole lot of things, because life is definitely different right now. And it's going to be different when this is over. But hopefully it's be different in a way that we're more compassionate. It's going to be in a way where we're more merciful towards people. We're more cognizant of those that are around us, and people are not so selfish. Because see, right now it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, where you live, what color you are. None of that matters. Who you voted for, whether you Democrat or Republican or liberal, none of that even matters right now. Because this thing is we would say, or my mom would say sometimes, it's kicking butt and taking names all over the world. So it doesn't matter. But if you don't keep yourself in a place, he said, those who keep their mind on me, I'll keep them in perfect peace. Speak those things as though they are, not as they were. So what do you want to see? And then when you begin to think about it and write about it and speak it, that's why you do affirmations every day. It does shift you, because right now, this thing is mental. This has nothing to do with physical. I was speaking to a friend, and I'm wrapping this up last week, and she was saying we were all on this thing about doing our smoothies and, eating right, doing right. But then we both like, girl, I thought I was going to be doing 2-a-days workouts and all this kind of stuff. But guess what? And I came back with, it's not an excuse to overly do it with the snacks, and even with snacking, that gets old, because right now you're trying to figure out what's the next best thing. Yeah, teaching online only lasts so long, but it's still a difference. It's different. It doesn't, after so many days or a couple of weeks, this thing is different. So I wake up like, is this real? Like, dang, this is real. Like, this is really happening. So you have to be like, oh my God, like, this is really happening. And so you have to kind of shake yourself and get back into this place where, yes, this is happening, but God will provide. This is happening, yes, but the solution will come. This is happening, yes, but everything is going to fall into place. This is happening, yes, but it's for a reason. It's to get our attention. Whatever you say to yourself. But that's what I say to myself. I'm like, because after so many days of this same routine, you're not leaving the house, you're not getting dressed, you're not interacting with people in a normal way. You're like, dang, wait, this is real. Like I said, I stopped watching the press conferences because they make me frustrated. So I just kind of follow my friends' posts or ask them what happened. I make a joke like, give me the Cliff Notes or whatever. But my point is, you have to be mindful of what you're saying. What are you talking about? And oh my God, quit watching all the conspiracy theorists. They don't know. Nobody knows. Only God, really. Only He knows the time, the place, the moment, the person, the avenue, the outlet, or the source that He's going to use to bring resolve to this situation. And the more and more people continue to let pride and ego get in the way, the blame game, pointing fingers, passing the buck, not listening, want to be the one to call all the shots and not work together, not compromise, not bring it together, to mesh it together to save the world, then it's probably going to continue. So it's our job to speak those things, speak life, speak, I was watching something earlier and it was confessing Psalm 91, speaking of comfort, declarations over your body, your health, your mind, your spirit, your family, your home. So I just want to say, that's all I really wanted to ask you, was like, what are you talking about? Because whatever you're thinking about is probably going to end up what you've been up talking about, and then it's going to start being what you see about you and out and about and around you. Whether people are around you or not, if you don't start changing those things to work for your good and to help you through this process. Of course, praying is definitely going to do it. But if you're not doing what it takes for you to be in that place where you're at peace in the midst of the storm and regardless of the storm, if you're in that place where you keep your mind on, He said, if those who keep their mind on me, I'll keep them in perfect peace. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. So that means freedom. And I had on that shirt today, the little boy said, oh, freedom. And it's so symbolic of more than just being free, but it's free mentally, free spiritually, free emotionally, not walking around in a panic, not walking around anxious, not, biting your nails and pulling your hair and, eating everything emotionally, you know what I mean? Even just watching certain things on TV over and over again, just trying to drown yourself out of really dealing with the reality of the situation. But again, what are you talking about? And how much are you talking about it? And who are you allowed to talk to you? And how much are you allowing them to talk to you? I'm not saying you got to be on this prayer call 24 hours a day. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying, what are you talking about? But it need to be somewhere in there. You need to start your morning off right at least. So anyway, that's it. I just want to know, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because you want to constantly be in a place where you're conquering fear every day. And if you're talking about things that make you afraid, or that make you fearful, or clam up, or question God, or doubt your faith, or doubt the belief that the blood covers you and the blood keeps you, and it cancels out all things and no evil shall befall you. If you're not speaking that, then guess what? It can. You're going to be paranoid when you have to go to the store. You're not going to want to walk outside and get a breath of fresh air because you're allowing fear to overtake you, and you're speaking it out every day. Oh, girl, And then don't be so negative. It's good in everything, because somewhere in the world, it's worse for somebody else. And I'm going to wrap up with that. Somewhere in the world, even in the country, even in your next neighborhood over, there's something worse for somebody else. So if you can walk outside and go in your backyard or your front yard or walk in your subdivision, then you're blessed, because somebody can't do that. What if you live in a different place? What if you lived in a different type of environment? But there was no backyard. What if you just, wherever you are, just think about that. It could be worse. It could be worse. Yeah, we don't like spending all this money on groceries, but we got the money to spend it. Not that we want to, but I'm just saying we got it, so you have to flip the script on it. We make jokes about it, but in the same breath, thank you, Lord, that I can go buy groceries for my family. Thank you, Lord, that we are still able to walk outside. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. What are you talking about on Let's Talk Tuesday with Coach T? Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you for commenting. If you don't see the live button, thank you for hashtagging replay in the comments. And those who are watching with me, thank you for commenting. Those who are lurking, then drop me a couple of hearts or emojis. Share these words with people on your timeline. We all need encouragement. Again, continue to be prayerful, be mindful. Again, be concerned but not consumed. Be aware but not anxious. Be informed but not influxed. Be grounded in your faith and rooted in your word. And I promise you that no evil can befall you. And it'll be faith over fear every time. And when you can't face your facts, face your faith. And everything will be all right in the end. If it's not all right, then guess what? It's not the end. Trust God, trust the process, trust his plan, and know that he said that he will deliver us from it all. So whatever your all is, that's even coronavirus and COVID-19 and everything else that was going on before that, he will deliver. He said it'll come by you, but it won't get you. I'm paraphrasing, but you get it. So you have to make sure you make the word work for you. Don't change it, but you can fix it so that you can make it work for you. So thank you. Have a great and wonderful night. It's me, Coach T, here to empower, ignite, and uplift you. And remember that it's okay. It's okay to change. It's okay to shift your life from mundane to magnificent and maximize every moment, especially now. Good night. Peace.